Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday carry people. It's the Big Canucker here for all your EDC needs. Today we're going to be having a look at two, I think, must-have EDC tools. Now, whether you have one or both, I think you should have a Leatherman multi-tool or a multi-tool in general in your EDC or everyday carry. I happen to really like the Leatherman brand. I think they make the best ones, and these are the two that I own. I have had another one here, which I do not have anymore because I did not like it. It was the OHT, the one-handed tool, and I just could not get over the fact that it wasn't comfortable. It was big and clumsy, and which is perhaps why I got rid of it. Now, so what I have here is the Wave, which is a little bit older multi-tool, or my Wave is a little bit older. I know that they've done an update on them. The new update allows you on the Wave to have replaceable cutting heads, which we have here over on the Surge. But I just kind of want to go through what we've got here for both of them, what to expect, I think, if you carry them, and to me, I think they've each got their place. I don't know. Well, I don't want to surprise. I don't want to spoil the ending. So let's kind of go through it. All right. Let's go through the first one here. Let's go through the Wave. All right. Now they say the Wave has 18 tools. And let's go through some of them here as well. Now, my Wave here came with the leather sheath, and there's actually a side spot here on your leather sheath to have I put a little flashlight inside there. Some people put a ferro rod. Some people put a extension in there, but it's just a handy little pocket on the leather sheath. Now, I've had this multi-tool here for probably about, I'm going to say 4 or 5 years. And, the sheath has definitely had its wear and tear. And it's definitely been used, that's for sure. Now, the one thing here I like going on here with this Leatherman Wave is that it is well broken in, and it closes and opens and closes very nicely. But just to quickly go through the tools here, it comes with a set of pliers, a set of needle nose pliers, and it also has a set of wire cutters here too as well that are built in. And just to let you know now, you've actually got a set of replaceable 154 cm hardened wire cutters. And let's go through now the outside tools here. Now you've got, on the one side here, you've got the 420 HC blade, which is a great little EDC size blade here. Just to go over, it's right around 3 inches, this blade here too as well. So it's within the ADC length. It's 2.9 inches. So I guess for some of you who have got that everyday carry, for those of you who live in areas where you need to have less than a 3-inch blade, this does fall within that category. Now, this is not going to be it can be your everyday carry blade, and it can be your primary blade, but the 420 HC is, it's a tough steel. It's very easy to sharpen, and it takes an extremely sharp edge. This one here, I have touched it up since factory because, I've cut a few things in it, and it did need to be sharpened up. It's got a little thumb ramp, and it also comes with a locking blade too as well. So it is a one-handed open and a one-handed close, which is very nice. And you've basically just got kind of a liner lock here too as well. And you've got a little bit of the thumb hole here, a la the Spyderco, but it's not round, so I guess you don't have to pay Spyderco a thing. All right, on the other side, you've got your another 420 HC blade, but this one here has actually got the serrations, and I have to tell you that the Leatherman does do a nice serration. It cuts very well, and you've also got the tip here, which is kind of not serrated, so it gives you that opportunity to kind of get in there and cut. If you're cutting some linoleum or cardboard or carpet, it does an extremely good job too as well. It also comes serrated too as well. Now, they are one-handed tool here. You'll see here on the serrated side, you've got a little bit of jimping here, so it tells you, if you reach into your pocket, this side is smooth, or when you open up your Leatherman tool, you can tell by just touch whether you're opening up the serrated or the non-serrated blade. Now, you've got a diamond file here, which is a nice file, and it also has the metal wood file on the other side, as well as a metal saw. Not too many people know that this is actually kind of a file, but it also will cut metal too as well. And I don't know what the total thickness it'll cut through, but it does do a decent job. I have cut some kind of fine tin with this, and it does work. And I really like this diamond file. It's held up really well over the years, and I have cut a lot of stuff, I have filed down a lot of stuff with this diamond file, and I think it works absolutely fantastic. Now, you've also got here, I think one of the best things that Leatherman makes is it's actually a little wood saw. And as you can see here, mine's a little bit dirtied up. I use this when I'm out and about, and once in a while I want to cut down a little bit of a tree or something, or a branch to carve, do a little bit of wood carving. I carved a spoon here the other day, and these little chicken sticks. Shout out to Doug Linkter. Little chicken sticks. I just cut down a branch with this, and you'll be amazed at what this saw blade will cut and how fast it will cut. I have seen a demonstration of a guy cutting. It's actually Adam from I can't remember his name. Adam Savage actually is him. He actually cut through a 2x4, I do believe, right around 30 seconds. So it does do a fantastic job with the Leatherman saw. Now, when we open up the tool here, you've got some tools on the inside, and you've got the scissors, which I will not get a multi-tool without scissors. That's kind of a make or break for me. I'm sure if I had a multi-tool, I didn't have scissors, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but I love using these scissors. And once I had them in my pocket, I was amazed at how many times I actually did use the scissors. I continuously use the scissors. Now, let's go here with the rest of the tools inside here. You've got a large flat blade that you can use as a flat screwdriver, or I also use it as a prying tool too as well, quite a bit. And then you've got a glasses bit, which is a little tiny bit that's got a flat head on one side and a tiny Phillips on the other. And it fits in there, and that is my big knock on Leatherman here, is I wish you could buy this little bit just by itself. You cannot. You have to buy it with a little package with some other bits, because Leatherman, I'll show you here in a second, have got the 2D bits. I'm not sure why this is not going in properly, but I've never had a problem with that before. Don't know what I'm doing wrong here, but I will... Oh, there we go. Hey, I just need a little bit of hair around it, that's all. All right, guys. And then on the other side, you've got the bit here too as well. And it's actually a little number 2 Phillips bit. And you pull it out, and it's got a flat head on the side. As you can see, I've used mine quite a bit. Leatherman has decided to go with this thin 2D bit. And, you know, it does work well. And... but a lot of us have got the 1/4 inch round bits, and I will show you a little hack on that at the end of this video, a little bonus. All right, and then you're finishing off with the bottle opener, as well as a can opener here too as well. And then you've got this little, here, notch is a wire stripping tool too as well. And I don't use the wire stripping there quite a bit of time, probably like a lot of people. I use my wire stripping here in the front. I just, you know, this has been broken in so nice that it's got a nice touch, so I can use the wire stripping tool right here. I'm sure this one's better, but I just never think to use it. I always just kind of use that. So that's the breakdown of, you know, the Leatherman Wave. Oh, you know what, I just want to tell you something here too as well, just to give you some ideas. I forgot to tell you the sizes of this. All right, let's just see here. You've got a closed length of 4 inches in a weight of 8.5 ounces, which is, I think, a tremendous 8.5 ounces is, you know, extremely light. And oops, I forgot one other tool here in the bottom. You've got your little lanyard hole here too as well. It also comes available that you can put a pocket clip on here, which I just never decide to do. I like my Leathermans in a sheath, and I've had no problems carrying it that way. I'm sure that, you know, there are guys out there who like having that clip on here, and they, you know, they clip it in their front pants. I just think it's a little bit too heavy, even at 8.5 ounces to front pocket carry. And that's just kind of my opinion here too as well. All right. Oh, and I guess the other thing here too that I had missed is it comes with a 8-inch ruler that you can actually here printed on the front here too as well. I guess the entire thing here is 8 inches from tip to tip. So like I've said in previous videos, I know what 8 inches this feels like in my hand, and it's pretty nice. All right, guys. Now we've here got the Leatherman Surge, which is in part of their heavy duty multi-tools. It is quite a bit bigger when you've got it closed as well as opened. And I actually got the Wave first quite a bit ago, and I actually thought that I lost it. So I picked up this Surge after about 4 months of not having a multi-tool, because I thought perhaps that I would find it, or it would find its way back to me. And I really tossed and turned, and I thought, well, I've had the Leatherman Wave, let's go with the Leatherman Surge. So I ended up picking up a Leatherman Surge, and lo and behold, I had the Surge for about 3 months, and then I ended up finding my Wave. It had fallen behind a dresser, and so that's why I've got the two of them. Now, I do use them both in different aspects, but let's go over this Leatherman Surge here real quick, all right? So like I said, you've got a little bit larger set of pliers. If you've got this other one here, you can see where you've got a lot beefier plier head, as well as not quite as needle nose as the Wave. But with the Surge, you've got the 154 cm hardened wire cutter, so you can cut hardened steel with it too as well. And if they do chip or crack or break or wear out, you can just use a little bit here and change them up. So now the other difference here is you've actually got the crimpers here in the back of the Leatherman Surge. And so if you do want to cut wire connectors or a butt connector, it will crimp inside there. And that's something that the Wave doesn't have. Although I suppose you could use your cutters to crimp if you've got a little bit of a deft touch. All right, so now let's go through the tools here as well. She's a little bit tight. So you've got the serrated blade too as well, and it is quite a nice serration too as well. It is quite a bit bigger blade than your Wave. And here, let's just have so it's actually 3.1 inches, where the other one is 2.9. And it also has the liner lock too as well, and it does have the jimping here on top too. So you've got a right there. It looks like mine's got a little bit of recurve. This has not been sharpened. It has come from factory, very, very sharp. And the only thing I did do to it is I actually stropped it with my Knives Plus strop block, and it really put a very, very sharp edge on it. So kudos to the Leatherman factory. Their knives come extremely sharp, and it does have, like I said, as well on the Wave, it's got a little bit of a liner lock. It was almost a cut. And it does the 420 HC too as well. And I suppose the one thing I forgot to mention here is on either the Surge or the Wave, you can upgrade the steel on here and go with an S30V. And if I had the option, I would go with an S30V blade, because you know what, I'm a little bit of a knife snob, and even though it wouldn't be my main blade, the better the steel in the blade, the better I feel. So all right, so I've got that too as well. On the other side, you do have a nice big pair of scissors. I love the scissors on this Surge. I use the scissors on the Wave continuously, and I use these scissors here too as well. And they are an extremely comfortable set of scissors, and they will cut cardboard too as well, and they cut very, very fine, and they do a fantastic job. Of course, you've got the little bit of a spring there too as well for the return, and that just folds down in there. On the other side, you've got one of the big differences here. You've got an exchange blade. So what I have in it right now is you've got the metal file with the diamond on the one side and the metal knife here, or sorry, the metal saw on the bottom. And then you can actually put a wood saw on here too as well. So the wood saw is actually kept in a little sheath here that goes in the back of the Leatherman pouch. So it is tucked away, so you're always carrying both of them at the same time. And it is a fairly simple way to change these. You basically just pop this open here, and there you go. And then the blade pops out, and then you can actually just put in your new blade and just close it up, and you have got a wood saw in there. And of course, there we go. So now we've changed it over. Now, the nice thing about this is you don't need to have the Leatherman blades in there all the time. Anything with a Bosch end will actually fit inside here too as well. So you can put some different blades in there. You can put a longer blade in there. And, you know, you're going to be stuck with what you can actually put inside there and close for the length for carry. But for usage, you're pretty much unlimited on how big you want to put the blade in there. So if you find a Bosch blade that's, you know, 6 inches long and you feel that you need that, you can carry that, put it in there, and then use it with, you know, quite a bit longer, get a bigger stroke on your sawing. So let's close that up here too as well. So inside here, you've got the inside tools. You've actually got the 2D blade too as well here, and you've got the can opener, bottle opener, as well as the wire stripper on the one tool. And you've also got the 2D tool here too as well with the Surge, and it pops out to have your flat blade too as well. On the one side, by the way, I forgot to mention on both of them, you've got a little lock here on the back that all your tools lock too as well. And then here you've got, on this side, you've got some great tools that I absolutely love. You've got a leather awl, or kind of a reamer here that will it's got the sewing hole in here too as well. So I know some guys who have sharpened this up a little bit. It comes extremely pointy and extremely sharp from factory, so it will puncture through leather. I don't do a lot of leather sewing, but I have used this to tighten up my belt there one time. So it, you know, went through the leather, a nice big thick leather belt, no problem. And then you've got a really big flat screwdriver, and then a smaller screwdriver, micro size. And this one here is fantastic for prying too as well. It's a thick, and I'm going to say probably, I'm going to say close to 3 millimeters thick. So it does have some beefiness to it, and some beefitude. So it won't break up. Now, this is, I would say, a kind of a heavy duty multi-tool. And whereas the other one I would classify more as kind of a light duty too as well. Now, I do like the fact that this one comes with the scissors. Now, this one here actually has this one here, I know that there is a leather sheath available with this one, but this one actually came with, I guess it's kind of a heavy duty nylon sheath, and it has held up all right. It allowed me to put a flashlight on the one side, and then you've got another side for a ferro rod too as well. And then you've got some room in the back here, a little elastic band where you can put your spare, I tuck my spare blade in there, and I also have these little spare bits that I ended up picking up at Target Knives in Calgary, Alberta, because I lost my little eyeglass screwdriver. Don't tell me, I don't want to tell you how. It's goofy and stupid, but I lost it. So the only way I could pick it up is by picking up this little kit here for about $12. And it came with some flat screwdrivers. Came with a Torx heads bit too as well. And it came with a couple of Robertson, which I actually thought would be pretty handy. That's pretty much a Canadian thing. I know they don't have a lot of the square bits down in the States, and everybody's quite thankful for that. Although I think a Robertson is a fairly decent screw. All right, so now the difference between the two here, I mean, I think the biggest difference is that this is considered more heavy duty. It's bigger and badder all the way through, right from the cutters, which are a better cutter than this, the ability to cut hardened steel. I think the scissors are a way better scissor, even though I think the scissors on this wave are great. I think this large set of scissors is absolutely fantastic. It is that much better. And I really like the exchanger blade. Although with the Leatherman Wave, I think you get a little bit better saw, wood saw, because I think it's a little bit that much longer here. So you've got right here. So I think the cutting on your that little bit, you wouldn't think that little bit makes a difference, but to me it does. Just this, it's wider, it's thicker, and it just seems to lock in your hand a lot better. I find that the saw in the Wave is quite a bit better than the Leatherman Surge, although I haven't tried it with a longer aftermarket blade. I would imagine that might even be better, but I just like the way it locks in. So that kind of gives you an idea of what the difference is. Now, for me, how it comes down for what my preference is what I'm doing for the day and how I'm going to carry it. Now the difference between 8.5 and 12.5 ounces, you don't think that's a lot, but you know what? That 4 ounces does make quite a bit of difference. I do believe when you're carrying now on your belt. I like the fact that this puts in there, it's nice and compact size. It doesn't stick out on the side of my belt quite as much as the Surge does, and that seems to be the biggest knock for the Surge, is actually the width on it. It just, even though you don't think when I have the Surge on my belt, I seem to snag it more on things. Trying to put my seatbelt on, it drives me crazy. I sit in my computer chair, it seems to catch the arm on it, where it just seems like the Wave, just even though it's on my belt, it just seems like it is that much more easier day-to-day life carrying it. But if I am carrying something, if I have my satchel with me, I like having the Leatherman Surge in there, because it does have that much, because I carry all of this with just the Surge by itself. And I just think having that extra saw blade and the extra bits gives you that much more versatility. The bigger scissors on here. So if I'm carrying it in my satchel or in a bag, I prefer the Leatherman Surge. If I'm carrying it on my hip, I prefer the Leatherman Wave. Spit it out, Canucker. All right, so that seems to be my thoughts on the subject. Your opinion and mileage may vary, so I hope that you, well, before I finish off here, I forgot my little bit of EDC bonus here. Now, the one thing I would say though is whether you pick a Surge or a Wave or any of the other Leatherman multi-tools, they've got some fantastic ones out there, is make sure that you have a multi-tool with you, because they're an extremely handy item. I never thought I would use it as much as I did, but once I got this Wave there about 4 or 5 years ago, I use it continuously. Just about every day during my work day, I would use my Leatherman Wave. And when I was carrying the Surge, the same thing. Now, with these particular items here, you've got the inside. There is the ability to get all sorts of accessories with this, but I like the idea of having regular 1/4-inch bits with this. You can get a long accessory with it that pops in here, and I ended up kind of making my own. And it wasn't too hard. And it gives me the ability to pop in any 1/4-inch bit I decide. So what I ended up doing, so now I've got, this is the regular tool that comes with this particular little kit of bits. And this is a little pop-out one that I actually sell with my company. I work for a company called Worth Canada, and I sell shop supplies. And this is a little tool that we sell, and it actually pops in and locks in, and then you just push the button and the bit pops out. And just sometimes your hands are greasy. You don't want to be fiddling around with something that's inside there, trying to pull it out, especially when you get these really small Phillips bits. You're trying to pull them out, where that little button pops it out. It's easy to grab and pull out. But now, so anyway, put that in there. So what I ended up doing is I ended up taking the base on here and I ground it smoothly so it will fit right inside my Leatherman tool here. So it just locks into position. It allows me to get good purchase, use this as a great screwdriver, and it all allows me to put the regular 1/4-inch bits on here. Now, I like carrying this little particular tool that we actually sell too as well, because if I really need to get into an area, I can really have the length to really reach into some fine areas if I happen to need it. So that is my little bonus mod, and it did not take very much to grind that down. I just got an old bench grinder, ground it down a little bit, and added just a little bit of water to it because I didn't want to change the temper of that steel. Even though it wasn't getting very hot, I was very careful. Anytime I'm grinding steel, I always dip it in water because you just never know. You never want to change the temper on anything. So, you could take, if something's hardened and you put some heat to it, it goes from hardened to soft. What's with the innuendos here? It goes pretty darn quick. So you add moisture and it goes from hard to soft. All right, guys. I just want to say that is my my take on the Leatherman Wave as well as the Leatherman Surge. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. And remember to keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up, and the pointy end away from your bits.